let's do a review videos on finding due to of our integral. Now let's take a look at question number 1. We have a function g of x equal to integral 4 to x ft dt. The question asks to find g prime of x. So we're trying to find g prime of x. And how do we find the due to of the integral? So we put d dx and then we put the integral inside. So it indicates g prime of x equal to the derivative of the integral. So from here, we're going to follow a formula. So what it said is you are going to let the upper limit equal to u of x and the lower limit equal to v of x. So we are going to substitute the upper limit into the integrand. So what we are going to do is you put f and then you substitute the x into the t. You replace the t by x. And then you times the derivative of the x. What's the derivative of x? It is 1, so we times 1. And then you do subtraction, and now you go to the lower limit. You substitute 4 into the t. So you're going to get f of 4. And then you multiply the derivative of 4. What's the derivative of 4? 0. Now we're going to simplify. So we're going to say g prime of x equal to f of x times 1 is f of x. And then you get f of 4 times 0, we'll get 0. So therefore the final answer is going to be g prime of x equal to f of x. Now let's take a look at question number 2. Number 2, we had to find g prime of x. So we have g prime of x. So we're going to take the derivative of the integral. So this time I'm going to skip one step. I'm going to skip the d dx. So we're going directly to substitution, and we have x squared as the upper limit. We're going to substitute x squared into t. So for square root, whenever you see t, you replace by the limits. Now we replace by the upper limit. And then we multiply. What is the derivative of x squared? Which is 2x. So we times 2x. Now we do subtraction. So now you're going to 4. You're going to replace t by 4. So you're going to get square root of 4. And then you multiply the derivative of 4. What's the derivative of 4? 0. So now we simplify. So we get g prime of x equal square root x squared. We're not going to make it even further. We're going to multiply like this. And then you get square root of 4 times 0. You get 0. Of course, we can simplify this further, but I'm going to leave it like this. Now let's take a look at question number 3. Number 3, you had g of x equal to integral x squared to x cubed sine t dt. Find g prime of x. So g prime of x equal, and now I'm going to take the derivative of the integral. So same thing, you're going to substitute your upper limit into wherever you see t. So you see sine t, so sine parenthesis. You open the parenthesis for t, and then you substitute x cubed in there. And then you multiply the derivative of x cubed, which is 3x squared. And now we do subtraction. We go to the lower limit. Whenever you see t, you put parentheses, and you substitute the x squared into t. And now you multiply the derivative of the x squared, which is 2x. We cannot multiply this, we cannot multiply this, so we leave it like this. That will be the answer. So some people say I can factor. You can, but leave it like this. Now let's take a look at number 4. Number 4, we omit the g of x. We just ask you to look at the right side. Just find the derivative of the integral. You have to find derivative. d dx means find the derivative of the integral. So now what do? Same concept. Whenever you see the t, you put open parenthesis, and you substitute the upper limit into the t. So you put x cubed. And immediately you multiply the derivative of x cubed, which is 3x squared. Now you subtract. And then you're going to do the same thing. This time you put sign in parentheses because you have sign t. So you have x squared as the lower limit. You put x squared. And immediately you multiply 2x. So we finished number 4. Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5, you had to find the derivative of the integral x to x4 cosine t dt. So now you are going to put cosine parenthesis. You keep the cosine. And then you're going to substitute x4. And then you multiply the derivative of the x to the 4th power, which is 4x cubed. And now subtract. You go back here, you keep the cosine, and then put parentheses to replace t. And now you go to the x over here. We put x and multiply the derivative of x, which is 1. So we finished. Of course, you can simplify a little bit, but we're going to leave it like this. Let's take a look at number 6. Number 6. You have d dx, the integral 0 to x 4t squared plus 2t dt. This tells you to find the derivative of the integral. So we're going to do the same thing. Whenever we see t, you put open parenthesis. So now we get x, so we substitute x and substitute x. And what's the derivative of x? That's 1. So we go everything times 1. And now we do subtraction. So we are going to do 4 parentheses squared plus 2 parentheses, and we prepare to times the derivative of 0. So now we substitute 0, 0. And the derivative of 0 is 0. So this one, we simplify it, we're going to get 4x squared plus 2x minus 0. Okay, let's take a look at the homework question that we've done before. Let's take a look at number 7. So I asked you to find the d dx of the integral x squared to a sine t cubed dt. So how do we do this one? We do sine parenthesis q and time parenthesis. So we're going to get ready to substitute a into t. And then the derivative of a is 0. And minus. We go back to keep the sign. Replace t by parenthesis, cube. And then times. This is going to be ready for the derivative. So now we're going to have the x squared. We're going to substitute x squared. And then we are going to multiply the derivative of x squared, which is 2x. So we know that this whole thing times 0 will be 0. And then we get sine x squared to the 3rd power times 2x. We get 0 minus this, so we can simplify a little bit. We get negative sine. Now this part, you get x squared to third power. We multiply the exponent. So we got parentheses x to 6 times 2x. Now let's take a look at number 8. This is also one of the homework questions. So we had to find the derivative of the integral. So whenever you see t, you put parentheses. So we put parentheses squared plus 1. So now we're going to replace the 4x cubed inside the parentheses. Now we're going to multiply the derivative of the 4x cubed, which is 12x squared. Minus. We go back here, we keep square root, parentheses squared plus 1. So you're going to replace the 4 into the t, so we get 4. Don't forget, you have to times the derivative of 4, which is 0. Now we're going to simplify. So we have the 4x cubed to second power. That means 4 squared is 16. You had exponent 3 and another power 2. So you got 3 times 2 is 6. And then plus 1. And then times 12x squared. This whole thing times 0, you get 0. So therefore, that would be the answer. Last question, number 9. That's also the homework question. So you have to find the derivative of the integral. So therefore, we are going to keep cosine. When you see t, you put parentheses, and then you have the square. So now we're going to replace the x cubed inside. And immediately, you find the derivative of the x cubed, which is 3x squared. Now we do subtraction. You go back here, you keep the cosine. When you see t, you put parentheses. Now, we go back here, we got x squared. So we substitute x squared, and immediately you multiply the derivative of x squared, which is 2x. Now we're going to get cosine x to the 6, because 3 times 2 and times 3x squared. And minus cosine, this is 2 times 2 is 4, x to 4 and times 2x. You can swap the order, 3x squared times cosine x to 6 minus 2x times cosine x to 4. We finished question number 9.